In this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can find channels like this, those making money like this, and those making money like this, all using AI. All right, so let's dive into how you're going to find $10,000 per month faceless YouTube channels for your own YouTube journey. So the first thing you need to understand before we go into how you can use AI to find these particular niches is understanding what you're actually looking for when it comes to you starting your channel. Because if you pick the wrong niche, it's not going to allow you to hit your growth and income goals. So you're going to need to hit 4 different criteria in order to be able to pick a viable niche for your channel. So the first thing that you're going to need to hit on is high demand. So what is high demand? That just basically means that there's a lot of people that want to watch your content, which means that your videos have a higher amount of people that they can be served to, which increases your view potential on the videos that you're releasing into the market. The second thing that you need to have in place is that your channel is highly monetizable. So my recommendation is that when you are starting a channel, especially if you want to get up to $10,000 per month, is that you have multiple monetization methods associated with your channel. So you have ad revenue, then maybe you have affiliates, brand deals, digital product, anything like that that's going to elevate the amount of money that your channel can make per view that it generates. Now the next thing, and again, this is diving into a little bit more detail, but this is super important and not a lot of people talk about this, is that you want to have a channel that has a moat. So there's something unique or hard to replicate about your channel that not just any other person starting on YouTube can then come in and basically steal the strategy that you're using, because ultimately that will slow down your channel. And then you also ideally want to pick a niche that has lower competition, because then there's just less people in the market that you're competing against, making it easier to gain traction. So without high demand, and again, this is why all these 4 criteria are important, without high demand, it's going to be so much harder for you to grow your channel because there's just not as many people that you can serve. And if there's not a lot of people that you can serve your videos to, obviously if you struggle to get views, you're going to also struggle to make money on your channel. So we want to ensure that you're not entering a niche with low demand. Now the next thing is you obviously don't want to pursue a niche that has low monetization potential. So very often people will pursue niches that only have one monetization method, and their goal is to get to $10,000, $20,000 per month, but they can only ever maybe get to a few $1,000s per month at best because they're making a low amount of revenue per 1,000 views, and they're only making money through ad revenue. So in this case, if you pick the wrong niche that doesn't have multiple monetization methods, what's going to happen is that you're going to invest your time and your money into the channel, and then you're never going to be able to get up to that income level you want. So basically, you're putting yourself in a situation where you're very likely to have a negative ROI on the channel that you're building. Now, the next thing is, again, the moat. So you want to ensure that you are building up a channel that is not easy to replicate if you want to have this channel paying you for years and years to come. There are a lot of channels that can make you money now in the next few months, but then people will start to copy it. You'll start getting less views per month and per video, and then you'll effectively have to start something new. So if you're going to build something more long-term, you want to ensure that you're building something that's hard to copy, okay? And so one example of this type of channel is going to be Revenge Alley. So I'm going to open up this channel and show you exactly what I mean, because again, this is critically important to your long-term success on YouTube. So as you can see here, the channel is still getting some okay views per video, a couple thousand views. But you can see when the channel first started, it was getting quite a few more views per video, 50, 60, 70,000, with many of the older videos getting even up to 1 million views, 500,000 views. So if we take a look at this type of video right here, you're going to see what I mean as it being easy to replicate.
I stood at the kitchen window of my ranch house, watching the morning sun spread across 2,000 acres of Texas prairie.
So as you can see, it's just an image of the person, and then it basically is just scrolling captions, right? And there's nothing that in terms of video production that's going to allow this to be a competitive niche and channel just based on production alone, which means that anyone with very, very basic editing skills can copy this, make a script with ChatGPT, and basically start to flood the market in this particular niche. So for this example, if we take a look at the channel views, what you're going to see is that the 6-month outlook for monthly views, it was getting roughly almost 2 million views per month. And now as we start to progress forward, 600K, 500K, we went back up to 700K, and now it's looking like 400,000, and then, we're halfway through the month, so 165,000. So you can see that because this content is easy to copy, there have been a lot more channels popping up, which is stealing the market share from this type of channel. So that is the risk of not having a moat set up on your channel. So again, I'm giving you the forewarning that you definitely don't want to make that mistake on your own channel. Now, the last thing is you want to enter a niche ideally with low competition. So when there's a lot more competition, there's just a lot more people that can watch other content outside of your channel. That then is ultimately going to make it harder for you to get traction. Does your niche have to have low competition? No, it doesn't. This is just one of the elements or criteria that are going to make it slightly easier to grow. And I just want to basically illustrate why this is the case. So if you have a channel that's in a saturated niche, so like something like sports, personal finance, etc., there are a lot of channels, which means that the total market can watch any of the different channels in this niche, which is going to diversify that viewership across all these different channels. So the more saturation, the more competition, right? The harder it is to get views. But if you find a low saturation or low competition niche, then all those people that do want to watch that content are going to be funneling towards your particular channel. And that allows you to basically, use the principles of supply and demand in your favor. So a good example of this in action is the channel Blue Paw Print. So if we open up this channel, here's what you're going to notice, okay? This is quite a successful channel. So as you can see, in just 15 videos, it's generated almost 500,000 subscribers, okay? And you can see that each one of their videos is getting over 1 million views, which again is just a ridiculous stat. So why am I showing you this channel? It's just to say that there's a lot of people that want to watch content around different planes and their models and, the history of them. But there's not a lot of channels that are using these high quality graphics to basically illustrate the concepts in their videos. So what I'm saying is that there's a lot of demand, but there's a low supply of these 3D high quality animation channels and videos. So effectively what happens is that everyone that wants to watch those videos is going to funnel towards this particular channel. And this is why this channel has grown so fast with so few videos. So to go over it, we're going to need to have a niche that is in high demand, that is highly monetizable with 2 or more monetization methods, that has some sort of a moat that makes it harder for it to be replicated, and that there's ideally low competition. So the tool we're going to use to do this is going to be TubeLab. So if I open up TubeLab right here, the tool you're going to use is the niche finder. And this is exactly how I find $10,000 a month niches personally. So I'm giving you my exact strategy. No gatekeeping here. All right, so what you're going to do is go under filters. Then you're going to click on channels that started in the last year. It's just going to find channels that are a little bit more time relevant. Go under content quality and go high quality, faceless, monetized, and then revenue is 10,000, obviously. And then we want to select English, and we're going to go set filters. And so what this is going to do is it's going to pull up all the channels that are making an income $10,000 or more that started in the last year. And this is started uploading in the last year. It could be a channel that's like 5 years old, but it just started uploading in the last year. That's how it would filter for that. So as we start to scroll down, we're going to see a whole bunch of different channels, okay? So it's filtered for us. So this is going to save us hours of having to just basically keep refreshing the YouTube homepage. So we can see a ton of, key information like their number of subscribers, if they're monetized, how much they're making, etc., etc. So what you want to do as you're trying to find a niche for yourself is you want to scroll down these results to see what's going to resonate with you. So we've already hit the metric that, yes, we have found a channel that is making $10,000 a month. So the next thing that you're going to want to do is start to filter for those criteria that I just mentioned, right? So we want to see that there's high interest in the market. So if we go, let's say Astrum Earth is the channel we want to look into further. So the space niche or the deep sea niche or whatever the channel is really about, basically documentaries about Earth, we would click on the Analyze Niche button, okay? So this is going to give us some key facts. So it's going to tell us the market size. It says this can obviously have a very high market. The score is 100, which is fantastic. So check, we've already signed off that high demand is being satisfied by this particular niche. Now, the saturation, we talked about low competition. Well, as you can see here, it is a relatively unsaturated niche, which means that there's less competition, would be probably easier to start getting initial traction. Now, the next thing we want to look at is highly monetizable, so a moderate to high RPM and multiple monetization methods, okay? So this one, we're going to have to do a little bit more digging to get there. So here you can see that it is making a moderate RPM, so between $3.70 and $5.20 per 1,000 views. That's reasonable. I think anywhere between $4 to $6 is, I would say, moderate. Higher being 10, low being 2 or 1 per 1,000 views. So I don't have any issue necessarily with this, but my recommendation to you would definitely be the following, is that now that you know how much the channel is making per 1,000 views, what I would want to do is I would want to go back and open up the channel and see if it has multiple monetization methods associated with it. So brand deals, does it have exclusive content? Does it have its own digital product? So here we can actually already see that it has a Patreon with almost 3,000 members. So it's already making money outside of ad revenue just by people paying each and every month for extra access. But if we take a look at, let's say, this other video right here, if we open this up,
blog opinions, no hallucinations.
We can actually see that this channel right here is basically having a paid brand deal in their video right here, right? So they're basically promoting this AI search engine and they're saying you get $45 off your annual plan. So effectively this channel is being paid probably a good sum, honestly, to be able to get promoted, to promote another company's brand and services on the channel, right? So as you can see here in the middle of their video, they're talking about Turkmenistan's Hell Crater, and then as you can see in the middle of the video, it transitions into showing an ad.
But behind every awe-inspiring discovery lies an entire forest of scientific research waiting to be unearthed. Meet Consensus, the world's most powerful AI-driven search engine for peer-reviewed science.
So as you can see, the middle of the video, there's a brand deal, and you can get paid a flat fee to do these integrations of 30, 60, 90 seconds usually. You can get paid, let's just say, maybe between $20 and $30 per 1,000 views that the video generates. So as you can see, if the video is generating over 100,000 views, that is a significant amount of money that this channel would be earning. So the last thing you want to think about is the moat, right? So we know it has multiple monetization methods. We know it has high demand. We know that there's relatively low competition based on the analysis from TubeLab. Then the last thing is that there's a moat. So as you can see, these are 30-minute documentaries that are being made on the channel. Very high resolution, very high quality, very in-depth information. That in and of itself is going to make this type of channel very hard to replicate. So that is exactly how you're going to find your $10,000 a month niche. And if you want to learn how I made over 500K from one single Faceless YouTube channel, then click on this next video.